this is my first space and I'm blacking it in. So basically it's just a shape. That's all it is. It's a shape. The second shape I'm going to do, which will be below the bar to the actual tabletop. And I know that the bottom or the top of the shape is the bottom of this bar. So that's that little bit. There's a crossbar that goes across. So I'm going to draw a bit of that because that also is part of this same shape. Then there is a back leg, which obviously must join up with this one above. So by rights, it'll be like this, the edge of the shape. And I've got to stop it there. This is now the tabletop. I'm going to join this up as if those two legs were joined together. And this is my next abstract shape. And this is the next one I will fill in. I'm using just an ordinary B pencil, by the way. I'm not using anything else at the moment. I know I said to you pen and ink. We might get on to pen and ink. We might not. We might just stick with a pencil. It depends what's most appropriate for people. Okay, so there's my next shape. Now, I did start before you came defining the outside shape, which is the space obviously around the chair. And all I can glean of that is the edge of the bottom of the seat, and then obviously the outside edge of the actual leg itself, and then it stops, okay, because it hits the table. And I suppose I could do it, join it. So already, even without having actually drawn very much, you're beginning to get the suggestion of something happening, aren't you? Of there being a form here, which is going to appear as a white form, and the spaces are going to be black. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you want me to draw a bit more, or do you think you could have a go at this? Those of you who feel ready to do it, please start. Those that don't, I'll do a little bit more. So I'm going to go back to the underneath side of the seat. I'm going to go round the top of the seat cushion on the top, along a bit, until I hit the back of the chair, which is a line going like this. Now, in reality, I've gone up this leg here, round the seat, up the bar, but it's actually leaning the other way in this case, and along a little bit of the top of the actual back, top of the back of the seat, the back of the chair rather. And then I'm going to jump across the bar to the other side of it, so that I have the next negative space, which will be, that's the edge of the bar, the continuation of the back of the seat, and then the next bar that appears. And the top of that bar, which comes across like this, gives me my next negative space. So this one is my next negative space here. Now, if you do this slowly and carefully, you will end up with something that looks like your chair, a sort of white version of your chair, with all the spaces around it coloured in as black. It's a good exercise in that it actually makes you judge the space of things, the proportion of things, which you don't sometimes actually do. I mean, I find myself, I don't always get the proportions right. It's a different way of drawing. It's I think, a brilliant exercise. And when you end up with something that looks like a chair on your paper, having approached it in an entirely different way to the way that we draw, which is to go around the outside and possibly fill in the details as we go along, it's a fresh way of approaching it and quite useful. So I'm basically creating the chair by drawing the negative space. This is called the negative space. It's the space in and around the form. And it's a very useful thing to look at when you're drawing, because it often helps to clarify things that appear difficult or confusing. It simplifies things down into just very simple individual shapes. So you can see at the moment all I've got is 1, 2, 3, 4 shapes, spaces between the struts of the back of the chair. I've got the 2 spaces on the left under the chair. I haven't drawn the space under the seat here, or the next one along. I haven't done any of the others underneath the remainder of the chair. We'll see those in a minute.
Oh, I can't do this.
At least I hope you will.
space. That's space. That's not space.
Now, in order to finish mine off, I'm going to draw a box around it so that I can actually, what I would do ideally is to draw in all the rest of the space, because that's all negative space, all this.
Oh,
Right. So what should really happen is that all of this should be filled in, because it's all negative space. You see what I mean?